Hello, welcome to Case Management 201, Services on SkanPoint. I'm your trainer, HMIS Program Specialist, Shantae Smith. During this training, we will learn how to apply services that are provided to the clients you serve, as well as how to navigate through the SkanPoint module. Please note that if you have any questions, to contact us at the HMIS Help Desk at hmissupport@cir.org or by phone or text at 602-908-3605. Thank you, and let's get started. Once you log into the system, if it is necessary to your workflow, go to the top right-hand side of the screen and use the Enter Data As button to ensure that you're entering your client information into the correct project. Next, go to the left side of your screen to the menu and locate the Client Point button. Once you click it, your screen will change to show the Client Search page. Enter in the necessary information to search for your client. You can search by their name and Social Security number or by their HMIS Client ID number. Since I know my client's HMIS ID number, I will type it in to the search field and click Submit. Once I have my client's record open, I will locate the tab that says Service Transactions and click it. This will automatically direct me to the Service Transaction Dashboard. The Service Transaction Dashboard has different features that aid in collecting data on services provided to clients served. The Add Need button is rarely used. This is because when a project creates a service for their client, the need for that service is automatically created at the same time. The Add Service button is used when you would like to apply a service that was provided to your client. The Add Multiple Services button is used when you would like to apply multiple services to a single client all at once. The Add Referrals button is used when you would like to apply a referral that was provided to your client. The View Previous Service Transactions button is used when you would like to view a history of services provided to your client. The View Shelter Stays button is a feature that allows you to see your client's past shelter stays. And the View Entire Service History button is used when you would like to view a history of needs, services, and referrals provided to this client. Now, please return to the Home menu to begin to work on an example of applying a single service to one client. I have a client that I will be working with for the duration of their stay in my project. They have come to me and expressed their need for material goods, since they are unable to provide it themselves. My project has certain material goods on hand to provide my client. I now need to log this information on their profile to show I provided them with this service. To get to the Client Service Transaction Dashboard, repeat the following steps. Once you log into the system, if it is necessary to your workflow, go to the top right-hand side of the screen and use the Enter Data As button to ensure that you're entering your client information into the correct project. Next, you will go to the left side of your screen to the menu and locate the Client Point button. Once you click it, your screen will change to show the Client Search page. Enter in the necessary information to search for your client. You can search by their name and Social Security number or by their HMIS Client ID number. Since I know my client's HMIS ID number, I will type it into the search field and click Submit. Once I have my client's record open, I will locate the tab that says Service Transactions and click it. This will automatically direct me to the Service Transaction Dashboard. Once my screen shows my client's Service Transaction Dashboard, I will locate the button that says Add Service. Once you click it, your screen will change, and on the top left corner you will see Add Service. Below that, you will see your client's name and HMIS ID number listed. Please keep in mind, if you serve families, you will see a list of household member names and HMIS ID numbers. This is where you will check mark the names of the clients you need to record the service on. Next, you will make sure that the correct service provider is listed, If you entered into EDA mode when you began to work with this specific client, this should match. Next, the creating user will automatically default to show your name. Then you must complete the start date and the end date. The start date and the end date should be the same day. Sometimes it will auto-populate. If it does not, you must fill it in yourself. As a little trick, to reduce what can be known as human error, you can click on the calendar with the green check mark and it will populate the current date or to the date you have set your back date to. Next, you will list the service type, and in this case, it is material goods. Keep in mind that this list is called a service code quick list. It is a list of general services provided by your project on a regular basis or by your project's requirements. It can be altered by request. To do so, contact the HMIS Help Desk at hmissupport@cir.org. Then, to the left of the service type quick list is the Lookup button. This button can be used to look up specific service types in the AIRS taxonomy that isn't already listed on your service code quick list. Once you've selected your service type, you will click Save and Continue. It will direct you to another page where it continues to allow you to edit the service. You can verify that the service provider, creating user, start date, end date, and service type are all listed correctly. And if applicable, you will enter in the service costs associated to the service provided. Your supervisor can let you know if this data is collected specifically at your project or not. Then, you will locate the box titled Need Information to complete the options. Please remember that the need status should always be closed, and the outcome of the need should be fully met. Once you've provided your client with this specific service, there is no longer a need for it. Then you will click Save and Exit. When you do, you will automatically be redirected to your client service history list. Now, please return to your home screen to work through the next example of creating multiple services for one client using the Add Multiple Services option. Please keep in mind that while working through this next example, that your screen may look different than what is shown here. Just know that is a custom setup, and for any inquiries, you can contact the HMIS Help Desk at 602-908-3605 or email us at hmissupport@cir.org. Now, my client has come to me in need of some transportation and food. Since I have provided these things, I now need to log this information on their profile. To get to the client service transaction dashboard, follow the same steps as before to get to your client's profile. And remember, if applicable, be sure to use EDA. Once I have my client's record open, I will locate the tab that says Service Transactions and click it. This will automatically direct me to the Service Transaction dashboard. Once my screen shows my client's Service Transaction dashboard, I will locate the button that says Add Multiple Services. Once you do, your screen will change and you will see your client's name and HMIS ID number listed. Please keep in mind, if you serve families, you will see a list of household member names and HMIS ID numbers. This is where you will checkmark the names of the clients you need to record the service on. Below that, you will see an area titled Multiple Services. Next, you will make sure that the correct service provider is listed. Remember, if you entered into EDA mode when you began to work with this client, this should match. The number of services text box is for you to record how many of this specific service did you provide to your client. For example, if it's material goods, how many items were there? Then, be sure that your start date and end date are marked as the same day. And next, you will go ahead and select your service type as material goods. After that, this is where you will complete the needs status. On the bottom right-hand side, there's a button that says Add Another. You will click it to add the next service of a food box using all the same steps we just worked through. Okay, now you can look to the bottom right of the screen and click Save and Exit. You will be redirected to your client's service transaction history. Now, please return to your home screen to work through the next example of creating one service to multiple clients using the SkanPoint module. I have held a group or class about life skills at my project today, and I would like to apply the service to all attendees within the system. To begin, go to the left side of your screen to the menu and locate the SkanPoint button. Once you click it, your screen will change to show the Provide Service tab. At the top, you will ensure that the correct service provider is listed. Then you will use the drop-down list to select your service type. In this case, it will be Life Skills Education. Next, you will complete your start date and end date. Remember, these dates should match. Then, if applicable, complete the service costs. Next, we will need to select what clients we would like to apply this service to. There are 3 different ways this next part can be completed. We will complete an example for each option. Option number 1. If your project does not utilize the ShelterPoint module, use this option. Locate the button on the bottom of the screen towards the middle that says Start Scan and click it. Once you do, your screen will change and a box will appear with the title as Scan ID cards. In this pop-up box, you're able to look for your client by name or by HMIS ID. Once you've located the clients you wish to apply the service to, a list will be created at the bottom. To work through the different ways of adding your client using this option, let's start with the client search. You'll see an arrow next to it that is pointing towards the right. Take your cursor and click on the arrow so that it points down. By clicking on the arrow to point down, it expands the search option so that you may type your client's name to search for them. Once you have a list of client results, you will select the appropriate client you wish to apply this service to by clicking on the green circle with the plus sign. Located to the left of the client ID and name. Once you do, you will notice that your client is now listed at the bottom of the screen to show that this service has been applied to their profile. You can continue to use this method to find your clients, or you can search by their HMIS client ID. To do that, look for the area that says Scan Client Barcode. Use the text field box to type in your client's HMIS ID and click Scan Barcode. Once you do, you'll notice that at the bottom of your screen, your client that you just searched for is now listed. If you prefer to work through it this way, you can continue to use this method to find your clients as needed. As a side note, in the event you added the wrong client to this list, there is an easy fix. Locate the incorrect client on your list and use the trash can to the left of the name to delete it. Once you click on it, a warning box will appear to ask if you are sure if you want to delete this entry. Then you will click Yes. If you are done creating your list, look towards the bottom right of the screen and click Exit. This will return you to the SkanPoint Provide Service screen. At this point, you will need to remember that the computer did its work in the background and attach this specific service to the list of clients you just created. Option number 2 is choose clients from the client list. Before you can begin to use this option, you must create a clients list in the Manage Client List tab within the SkanPoint module. This tab is located at the top of the screen. Once you click it, your screen will change to show previously created client lists if applicable. Next, you will locate the button at the bottom left, Create New Client List. Once you click it, a pop-up window will appear to allow you to name your client list. And then you will make sure that your correct provider is listed. Next, click Save and Continue. Once you do, your screen will change and you will see the header that says Client List, in this case, HMIS Trainer. This is where you will create your client list. You can add clients by typing in their HMIS ID number in the Type or Scan ID to Add text field box, or you can search by their first name and last name and social security number. If you choose to add them by client ID number, you will type in the number and then click Add New Client to List button. If you choose to search by their name and other criteria, you will click the search box and type in the information you have and click Search. Once you do, a list will generate under the search results, and to select that client, you will click the green circle with the plus sign located to the left of the name. It will seem like nothing happened, but in the background, the computer did its job and added this client to your list. Once you've completed searching for and adding your clients to your list, click Exit. It will take you back to your client list page to see where they are listed. Once you have your list created, you can click the Exit located on the right. Once you do, it will take you back to Manage Client Lists. From there, you will click on the Provide Service tab. At the top, you will ensure that the correct provider is listed next to the service provider title. Then you will use the drop-down list to select your service type. And in this case, again, it will be Life Skills Education. Next, you will complete your start date and end date if it is not automatically populated. Remember, these dates should match. Then, if applicable, complete the service costs. Next, we will need to select the clients we would like to apply the service to by clicking on the Choose Clients from Client List button. Once you do, your client list pop-up window will appear and you will select the client list you wish to add this service to by clicking on the green circle with the plus sign next to it. When you do, your screen will change to show the list of clients associated to this specific client list. You will check mark the names of the clients you would like to add the service to be associated to and click the Enter Service for Clients button. A pop-up box will appear stating, services were successfully entered for however many number of clients, and then you will click OK. Option number 3. If your client utilizes the ShelterPoint module, you will click the option at the bottom left titled Choose Clients from Unit List. Again, if your project does not utilize the ShelterPoint module within the system, do not click this button. If it does, once you click that button, a box will pop up with a header that reads Select Unit List. Underneath, you will see a drop-down list to select the provider unit list you wish to view. Then, Next, you will use the drop-down box to choose which unit list you wish to view. Then click the Submit button. Next, a box will appear with the names of clients currently checked into a bed or unit at your project. You will select the names of those who attended the group or class and then click the button to the right that says Enter Service for Clients. You will then be redirected to the SkanPoint Provide Service tab. You will notice an alert box on your screen informing you that this service has been successfully entered for the number of clients you chose. Then you can click OK. We understand that it can be nerve-wracking not knowing if the service was applied to the clients, but we can assure you that the computer worked in the background to attach the service that you, the user, has created for the client's profile. Now, please return to your home screen to work through the next example of creating multiple services to multiple clients using the SkanPoint module. I have a group of clients that came to me needing case management and help job searching. It is my job to document these services on my clients within the system. Go to the left side of your screen to the menu and locate the SkanPoint button. Once you click it, your screen will change to show the Provide Service tab. Now you will click on the Multiple Services tab. At the top, you will ensure that the correct service provider is listed next to the service provider title. Then you will enter the number quantity of the specific service that you provided. Next, you will complete your start date and end date, and remember, these dates should match. Next, use the drop-down list to select your service type, and in this case, it will be Case Care Management. Then you will scroll down and complete your need status. Then you will click the Add Another button to repeat the same steps as above to add your second service that was provided. Now, you will decide on the option that best works for you in your project workflow to select the clients to apply the services to. I will use the Choose Client from Client List option since I have it already created with the clients these services apply to. Once I click that button, the Select Client List pop-up window will appear, and I will select my client list by clicking on the circle with the green plus sign. Once I do, my screen will change to show the clients on this specific list. I will check mark the names of the clients I wish to apply the service to and click Enter Service for Clients. A pop-up box will appear saying services were successfully entered for 2 clients. Then you can click OK. Now, please return to your home screen to review services entered or how to correct a service entered. To check your work or to make corrections on services, locate the SkanPoint module on the menu. Once you click it, type in the appropriate information to search for your client. Once you've located your client on their record, locate the Service Transactions tab and click it. This will take you to the Client Service Transaction dashboard. Next, you will click the View Entire Service History button. As a reminder, every time you create a service, a need is automatically created as well. With that said, when you look at the entire service history screen, every service that was entered will have at least 2 lines, one for the need and one for the service. Services will only have one need listed for each service type. If you happen to see a need with multiple services, this is an error, and you should contact the HMIS help desks so that we may assist you in correcting the error. To see the details or to make a correction on a service entered, click the pencil to the left of the service you wish to view, not the need. And once you do, the screen will change to show the service details screen. This is where you can make the necessary changes to this service. Once you have, scroll to the bottom and click Save and Exit. Next, you will go back to the entire service history screen to see the list of services and needs that your client has. If you need to delete a service made due to an error, you must delete the need that is associated to the service. By doing this, it will automatically delete the service attached to it. So, to delete the need and the service, you will look to the left of the need and locate the trash can with the red X inside of it and click it. Once you do, a warning box will appear asking if you are sure that you want to delete this need with the one service attached to it. You will click Delete. And when you do, you'll be redirected back to the service history pane to show the updated list of services provided to this client. Now, you may return to your home screen. To reiterate a few key points, let's look over the summary. When wanting to record a service to a client's profile, you will do so on the Service Transactions tab. Remember, the service type list is a custom setup. Each project has a different list. And always make sure that your start date and end date of the service provided matches. The need status should always be closed, fully met. When wanting to record multiple services to multiple clients at once, you will use the SkanPoint module. Keep in mind, when using the SkanPoint module, there are 3 different options you can use. Option number 1 is to start scan. This is where you can search for each client by name and social security number or by their HMIS client ID number. Option number 2 is to choose clients from client list. Remember, you must first create a client list through the Manage Clients List tab. Then you can apply the services to that specific list of clients. The third option is to choose clients from Unit List. Remember, this can only be used if your project uses the ShelterPoint module to check clients into a bed. If so, you can use this list to select the clients on the bed list to apply services to. Remember, when wanting to review or make corrections on existing services, you will go to your client's profile and locate the Service Transactions tab. From there, you will click on View Entire Service History. And lastly, always remember that the system automatically creates a corresponding need for every service provided. By following these steps and working through the examples and a scenario, you have completed training on Case Management 201 Services in SkanPoint. As a reminder, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us at the HMIS Help Desk via email at hmissupport@cir.org or by phone or text at 602-908-3605. Thank you, and please refer back to your training confirmation email for further instructions.